The apostle said to the Lord, increase our faith. The Lord said, if you had faith like a grain of a mustard seed, you could say to the mulberry tree, be uprooted and planted into the sea, and it would obey you. Luke 17, verse 5 through 6, dear fellow redeemed. Und Dank ist der Welt Lohn. Und Dank ist der Welt Lohn, an old German proverb, roughly translated, ungratefulness is the reward of the world. The world will reward you and your efforts with ungratefulness. Isn't that true? We live in a sinful world. How can we deny this? Aesop's fables, which are fun to read, and one of them, they tell the story about a man. It's cold, it's winter and all that, and he sees a serpent nearing expiration. So he takes pity upon the serpent. He lifts it up, he takes it home, and he places it by the fire. After a while, the serpent starts to recover its strength and warming itself. And then it shows its gratitude to the man who took it and brought it home and essentially nursed it back to health. It thanked the man by sinking its fangs into his child who played by the fireplace. Ungratefulness is the reward of the world. Again, no surprise. Our experience tells us that. We don't need that. We have something better. The Apostle Paul writes to the young pastor Timothy. Listen to what he says here in 2 Timothy 2:3. He says, but understand this, in the last days, you and I were living in the last days. The last days began at the ascension of Christ. We've been in the last days. He says, in the last days, there will come times of difficulty. For people will be lovers of self, lovers of money. They'll be proud and arrogant, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, unholy. Ungratefulness. Well, it's a sin. Ungratefulness is a sin. Ungratefulness to the Lord, I'm just going to say, is especially a sin. You know, Martin Luther talked on faith and gratefulness and so forth. He said this: faith doesn't ask, what good works should I be doing? Before that question can be even asked, faith is busy doing them. Doing them. The Spirit is moving us to this, and it manifests itself in one way is a spirit of thankfulness and gratefulness to the Lord our God. By God's grace, we want to learn more about Jesus. By God's grace, we want to see and grow in what the Lord has so lovingly revealed to us about himself. And he promises that the Holy Spirit works through his word. So we want this. We want to grow. We want to know. That's why we're here. The doctor knows that. The Gentile convert to Christ knows that. The believer in Jesus knows that. Luke knows that. That's why he's inspired by the Spirit to give this orderly account. No person outside of the scriptures, no person, no institution, no movement is going to show us Jesus correctly. It's not going to happen. When man tries to understand Jesus and reveal Jesus to us, he gets it wrong all the time. He treats Jesus like some mystic or some do-gooder